Welcome Raiders to another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in this one we're going to be talking about the new fragment summon that's coming to Raid Shadow Legends, Mr. Kroz Wallbreaker, or should I say Kroz Wallbreaker, right? So he's a spirit attack legendary in the Ogren tribes. Looks very, look at that fist, looks very explosive, right? So let's actually get into this and see what his kit looks like. I'm going to zoom in so it helps you guys see a little bit closer here. Let's look at the A1, right? Pulverizing Pummel. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Nice. That sounds good for Finite Hard for people who need extra hits. But what else does it do? Alright. Each hit has a 30% chance of decreasing the detonation countdown of all bomb debuffs on the target by 1. Also has a 30% chance of placing a stun debuff on the target for 1 turn that is bookable up to 50. Sounds like Samson from Skinwalkers. Yeah, the King Kong kind of character, yeah? Yeah, that sounds like a Samson A1 with a little bit of extra, you know what I'm saying? I think Samson only hits twice. This guy hits 3 times. Alright, let's look at... That's a decent A1. I'm guessing he has something to do with bombs, right? Let's look at the A2. Battlefield Sapper has a 75% chance. There's no attack all enemies here. Interesting. Has a 75% chance, bookable to 100% chance of placing 2 bomb debuffs on each enemy that detonate after 2 turns. Ooh, so that means you're not attacking enemies and then you can get weak hit. No, this is just placing the bombs basically without attacking, which means you don't have to worry about negative affinities. So you're always going to land it if you have accuracy and if they don't resist it, right? 3%. So you're going to 97% of the time, you're going to always land these bombs. That is pretty good. That is pretty good even against negative affinity, right? That is nuts. You couldn't still get sheep though, right? So you got to be careful. Might have to wear a wand of submission on this champion. Fills this champion's turn meter by 25% for each enemy with a bomb debuff. Wait, is that per bomb? Or is that per... I guess it says each enemy. But they didn't put the word S with bomb debuffs. Right? Plarium is Ukrainian. Sometimes their translation to English is kind of like broken down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is very interesting. Because with 4 enemies, that's already 100% turn meter. But if it's per bomb? What? You're getting... There's no way you're getting 200% turn meter. No, I think it has to be 25%. You're putting the bombs on, and they mean like the instance of bombs, right? So it has to be 100% turn meter. Because no champion gives them 200% turn meter. What the hell are you going to do with that extra 100%? You can't take 2 turns, right? So, yeah, I think that's just how it's worded weird, but I think it's just literally 100%. Basically, it's almost extra turn. Literally, right? Someone technically could cut in, but it's insanely unlikely. Like 99% chance unlikely. If you land all 4. So that's pretty nuts, because that basically just means, I don't know why didn't they just give him an extra turn. Maybe they didn't want it to be like Nishak, or they didn't want it to be like other champions, right? So they were just like, let's make it different. That's not bad. That's bookable down to a 4. So you really want to get that turn meter filled, because if you don't, that's going to take a long time to use that skill, right? We want that to be quick. So if you use that, boom, and you take another turn, that's kind of like an extra turn. So it's almost like reducing it by 1 turn. So it's not really, but close. Let's look at this A3. Does that say Mangonal? Mangonal Maul. Interesting. Attacks on enemies, so this can weak hit, by the way. Has a 75% chance of decreasing the detonation countdown of all bomb debuffs by 1 turn. Okay. That makes sense with the A2, right? Also has a 75% chance of placing a block active skills for debuff for 2 turns. And that's bookable to 100% on both, and it's a 3-turn cooldown. Sheesh. Does that skill hit hard? That's what I'm curious about. Does that have a good multiplier? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you don't kill somebody with the bomb? But you're like, hey, it's okay. I built my guy with some crit damage and some other stuff too, so he can actually kill you. That is interesting, and he has block active skills, so you need accuracy, and you need speed and accuracy and attack. Those are the only 3 stats you really need. But if you build a damage version, a very thick version, you need that crit rate and crit damage as well. We'll see about that A3, how hard it hits. It's probably going to be like a 3.5 multiplier. If it is, that's sad, right? But if it's like a 3.8 or 4.0, like a Nishak, if you didn't know, Nishak actually has insane multipliers on his AoEs. Go try building them in Savage and nuking build and come back and you'll be like, whoa, that hits hard. Yeah, he doesn't play around. But maybe most people use Nishak as a bomber, right? Like a just normal bomber. Pretty good A3 skill, honestly. Do you understand that's a 3-turn cooldown? And it's putting block active skills for 2 turns. That means if you build this champion fast, or you have other supports that fill turn meter or increase your speed, this champion can literally keep a wave or enemies, not bosses, unless there's a certain boss that needs to be put, block active skills, infinitely block active, which means they're infinitely have to use their A1s. You can keep that's amazing for faction wars, right? Hard faction wars, regular faction wars, just locking out the waves over and over and over. Now, of course, you still can weak hit, right? That's the only downside. But a 3-turn block active skills is nuts on a champion. There's champions that are void that do that. So that is pretty good A3. Let's look at the passive here. Bomb Breacher. Fills all allies' turn meter by 5% each time a bomb debuff detonates. So if you have 4... Wait, that's all allies. Okay, so if you put... Wait, each time. So if you have 2 bombs, right? Because so wouldn't that... So you would think 1 bomb would be on 4 enemies, right? Normally a wave might be 5 or more, or like 5 or more, but... normal in arena, right, would be like, what, 20%? Because 5 times 4 enemies. But then it says each time. So that's 20. That's 40% turn meter. So not only is this guy getting turn meter with the A2, but then his passive is giving everyone, including himself. That is really, really good. Has a 20% chance of activating instant turn effect on this champion whenever an ally or... Whenever an ally or an enemy is killed... So if your own champion... if your own champions are getting Comitus, or if you're getting knee-shacked, he's like, wait a minute, buddy. It's actually my turn, and I'm gonna bomb you. That is really, really cool. But it doesn't have to be an ally. It can also be whenever an enemy is killed by a bomb debuff. That means if I put my bombs on you and then I trigger them by reducing them, then you get exploded by the bomb. I get turn meter fill. Then I can also get an instant turn. I wonder how... Because if you go A2, that's 4. But then he gets the boost, that's a 3. Activates this skill. If he goes again, this is still at a 2-turn cooldown, unfortunately. If player made this a 4-turn, bookable down to 3, you could actually go A2, A3, A2, A3. You could literally go boom, boom, if you were to proc that instant turn. So player was like, nah, that's too crazy, right? A2, A3, back into another A2, back into another A3. It's just crazy. That's like that's like refresh and relentless built in, right? Like it would be too much. So unfortunately, you'd have to go and use your A1 for 1 turn, and then you'd come back to that A2. Unless you had certain masteries or maybe gear sets like Relentless and stuff like that, right? Then there's... Seems very, very interesting. I kind of want to put that bird on him. You know the bird that says that like when you attack with your A1, when your skills are on cooldown, you have a chance to get an extra turn? Because that sounds insane. You get an instant turn, you use A1, stun someone, now you get an extra turn, right? You go back into your A2, back into the A3, right? That epic relic, yeah. And then he also has an aura in all battles, increase attack by 30%. really good, right? It's not like only arena or somewhere else. So in all battles is really good for Curse City, Faction Wars, Arena, Dungeons if you really need this champion, right? What do I think of this champion? Overall, I like the fact that he has stuns on the A1. That's super amazing. A stun can win you a game. It can also be really good for hard Faction Wars or Curse City. The fact that he puts bombs in this faction, come over here real quick. Let's just stop this dragon. And let me just show you something. If we go to the index, right? And you go to Ogren tribes. Brother, what bombers do we have? Nishak's not a bomber. He's a burner. Okay, we have War Mother. Okay, I'll wait. Everybody else is burners, right? Poisoners. Heal reduction. Nukers. Buffers. More buffers. Poisoners. Freezers. Enemy max / buffs. Buffers. Reviver. And then enemy max. Where's the freaking bombs? The bombs you have to come down to like... What? Epics? Grunch? Killjoy, Galcut. That's pretty much it. Like, there's not that many bombs in this faction. You gonna build a magma blood? Really? I'll wait. That takes 3 turns to activate, by the way. Yeah, it's like there's nothing good, right? So this champion is actually filling a hole in this faction. And hear me out. This champion also is Spirit. Now, I know you might be thinking, but Spirit is like, there's a lot of magic mythicals. True. But a lot of people are using Empress. Right? Empress is force. And Spirit is strong against force. Could this champion be the Empress counter that we've been looking for? Or just in Stone Skin counter in general? Because he doesn't weak hit the bombs. Gaius has bombs. He's magic affinity, can weak hit. Nishak has bombs. He can weak hit. Right? What are some other popular bombers? Even Astrolith back then, people were using Astrolith, right? And people were spreading her bombs. This technically can't be resisted, right? When you place it. But it can still weak hit. Right? And it only attacks one enemy. So... yeah, I think this champion is going to be really nutty. I'm going to have to go for this champion. It's a fragment summon, so that means it's going to be a lot easier. Hopefully it's not an FFS. Hopefully it's just an FS. We need something simple. Also, you could have good multipliers on that A3. He has stuns, bombs, tons of turn meter. I love this instant turn. I wish it would have been 25%, not 20. I'd rather have a 1 in 4, right? A quarter. Than have a 1 in 5, bro. 1 in 5 is like, what the? Come on. So, yeah, overall, yeah. I would give him... and the block active skills on the A3? He's a lockout champion? Not like your skill lockout, but block active skills lockout? Like, that's really good. And that's on a 3-turn cooldown. If you don't want to use them for the bombs at all, you could just A1, just stun, lock them out with A3. A1, lock them out with the A3. You can just keep doing that. I mean, why wouldn't you want to use the A2, right? It works with his passive and everything else. I'm just saying. He's actually good. And I hope his A1 has good multipliers and his A3. Because if he's a nuker / bomber, could this be the first... could this be the first res bomber in Raid Shadow Legends? Hey, let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to be going for this champion and doing all the events like Summon Rush, Champion Chase, and everything else? Are you going to be skipping him? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about him? I think he's a really good champion. I think like 8.5, maybe even 9, depending on his multipliers. I'm definitely going for him. I wanted to skip it, but I need the High Mother mod. But then I was like, wait a minute, he's actually good. I might actually need him on my account. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.